Google, with the amount of money that they make, sometimes making God himself jealous, you would think that they wouldn't have problems with hiring and firing people and keeping staff.
I hear it's a pretty cushy job. You hear all the good things that they have, like cool little areas for staff and stuff like that.
Yeah, you hear all the good things about it. But some of the skeletons are starting to come out of the closet at Google.
Oh my god, everybody has skeletons. Oh my god.
So, I guess Google has an internal service where people can email each other and basically talk without having to use the internet, so they can avoid having leaks and stuff, which makes sense. It's
like most companies, yeah.
It's a tech company, so yeah, okay. Somebody posted a interesting memo on their little, I think it's Google Plus or whatever they call it, on their little network, and a lot of snowflakes got offended by it. At least
the general, from what I understood, was about diversity, of gender diversity in the technology. Google was looking to hire more women, and this person,
a male,
said
who did actually get fired for this. So
said pretty much there's no reason for you to hire for the XYZ reasons, right?
Oh. Okay, so here's the difference. You haven't read the memo.
No, I didn't read. I read the article and I didn't read the memo.
I read the memo. Nowhere in there does he say don't hire women.
Oh, but okay. Well, yeah, I guess the article did say that. He didn't say don't hire women. He just gave facts for men and women in this field, right?
He, if anything, in his 10-page dossier, basically said, well, maybe we shouldn't be asking why women aren't in the field. We should be asking why men are in the field. And that might be the reason why women aren't. Because, again, depending on how you listen to the news, some of the places will go, oh, he's being anti-women and doesn't care about diversity, and you should get rid of women and shouldn't hire them. And it's just like, no, he does not say that at all. And it's so disappointing to see the news just double down and to keep digging deeper with how they're doing things. I read it. It was an interesting little read. You could probably find similar things like this on college or university campuses for essay questions.
Well, they said in the article, somebody was saying he would get like an A in philosophy or something.
Yeah.
For what he put out, and again, it just proves that when you have facts, and when you have stats, and when you have stuff like that, and you use graphs and stuff, blah blah blah, all those fancy things, scientific things, that you can manipulate those things in your favor. Because everybody's saying, in the article it says, well, his science is wrong or his science is right. You can agree with him, you can disagree with him, you can do this. If you look at it this way, you look at it this way. And to me, it's like, the question is, was Google right for firing him? Yeah, Google can do whatever the fuck they want. They're a private business.
Yeah.
If they feel that what he did was against their policy, then yeah, you damn right they can fire him. And it's not for us to say anything.
And there are legalities set in place where if a person feels that they've been wrongfully dismissed, they can take them to court, which he is considering or is doing. And so this is perfectly allowed in the way it's supposed to happen in the world. It's like, Google has policies about what people are supposed to say, what they're not supposed to do, and they're totally allowed to do this. This is a private company. Mm-hmm. This is not a government institute. So if they want to have... depending again how you want to look at it, if they want to have an ideology of saying you can't say anything good about white people, and you sign the contract saying I'm okay with this,
then
that's what you are.
That's right.
Now, if you're not okay with it, you can take them to court.
Don't sign the contract in the first place. Read the contract in full before you sign it.
Now, and it's interesting that it's in the news. Simply because people are saying wrong, at least in the mainstream news that I've been reading, it doesn't sound like any of the authors of these articles have actually read his memo. It doesn't sound, because they're all saying he's saying he's not. They take a specific quote from him saying when he starts the article, it's like, I'm not against diversity, I'm not against gender equality, etc., etc. They use that quote, but I don't know if they have read the rest of the article and understand it. Like there was a part in there that hiring practices which can effectively lower the bar for diversity candidates by decreasing the false negative rate. Now, I looked into that sentence because it didn't quite make sense. I guess there's a really, really complicated mathematical codex that goes with something like that, and you read it and you go, wow, Google's really quantified a lot of stuff. And it makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't if you just reading that. It's like
that sentence to me almost it's very complicated, but it sounds like if you're trying to use diversity as a hiring tactic, it's gonna give you not the best qualified candidates out there.
Yeah,
and I agree with that. When I see you see all over the place, this company is an equal opportunity whatever, right? And it's like, to me, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, to me, if I own a business, I'm going to hire the best qualified person that I see fit, that I want for my business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't need to quantify with numbers and stats and stuff like that. And I go, no, I don't care if you're white, purple, pink, gay, lesbian, transgender. If you are what I want in my business, I'm going to bring you in.
Yeah.
And if you want to work for me and I say, my rules are X, Y, Z, if you like it and you sign on that line, you follow these rules. And if you break one, I fire you. If you don't like it, you don't sign, you don't work for me. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom line. But nowadays, because we're so PC and we have to have, you have to have a certain amount of gays and a certain amount of blacks and whites and Hispanic and purples and pinks and now transgenders and now asexual and now people who like boots, people who don't like boots, and people who like apples and people who don't like apples,
who don't like Trump.
And it's like, oh man, it's just getting too much. It's getting too much in my eyes, and it's like, and for like, I understand Google's a huge company, so it feels like people are attacking them because it's like, who cares? They fired an employee, he can go legal action.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even news.
And what it comes down to is, if the legal action finds him correct, that's where the news is.
Exactly.
Because, again, if we understand that people are going to lean according to their own personal beliefs. So if you have somebody who is your CEO and he happens to be right-leaning, your company is going to reflect that a little bit more than not. So if you have left-leaning people in a bunch of management positions, you're going to be more of a left-leaning.
Yeah.
So that's all fine and dandy. I don't like how... honestly, I think Google has handled it not companies, I'm finding, are not handling social situations in the best light. Google is totally right in firing him, especially if he did violate a code of conduct. Yeah. But all these people that are in Google that says, oh, he should just be punched in the face, right? One, you shouldn't have let those leak. And two, those people that said stuff like that should have a talking to.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, if you're saying this guy is wrong for saying what he thinks is happening at the company, and then you have somebody say, oh, he should just be punched in the face, the one who just responded violently to this is way worse than the person who decided to write a 10-page memo.
Yeah. He was just giving his opinion, his thoughts, and his idea, like his opinion. I don't know why I just tried to make it something else. His opinion on something in his company.
Yeah.
And
the company is saying, oh, we need more diversity. And the guy's like, well, maybe there isn't diversity because this is a male-centric
maybe
field.
There's not the ability to have more diversity. So you don't force the diversity just to have diversity.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it just to have it.
And he even said in there, it's like, he said, men are... more centric around things, and women are more centric around people.
Yeah.
And he says maybe what you should be doing is in the coding aspect is you should have pairing coders, people working together in teams to code instead of just having individuals code. And it's like, you just mentioned something right there that would be something important for women, to get more women into it, working in a team environment.
Well, it's
whereas
because,
men strive as individuals or in teams. Women tend to strive better in teams than they do as individuals.
I think we try to quantify stuff too much. We try to put a code or a procedure or
a number
or something on everything nowadays. It's happening in sports. Like, I'm a huge sports fan, and it's happening a lot in sports with analytics.
Yes, all the
huge
numbers. Yes.
Analytics. It's like, this player is not good because of these numbers, and it's like, but I watch him and he helps the team. This player is part of the team that did this. Therefore, his numbers in an individual state or in this situation, yes, but when you put it all together as a package, it works. So, like, to me, when I was hiring people in a previous job, I would base a lot of how I felt with the person.
Yep.
I would look at a resume and be like, okay, they have qualifications, great. Okay.
How does he mesh when we talk?
Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Like, there are standard questions that you should ask.
Yep.
Even interviews. I haven't done an interview in forever, so
no, it's been a long time.
But from what I understand, is they're very structured and very like, oh, it's these certain questions, and it's like, okay, I get that you have to, have some questions, but to me, the human aspect of the world is slowly dissolving. You know what I mean? There's no like, the interaction with people is very, like, I'm very socially awkward. Well, I think I am. And when I'm in social situations, I'm very awkward. I'm very standoffish. I come across as an asshole in a lot of cases because I just, like, the small talk to me is very hard. Like, talk about weather and your jobs and, like, and to get into
monotonous
political talks with people is very hard. Like, because you don't want to get into that shit. And,
the three things you're not supposed to talk
political,
to?
religion, and something
Sex.
else. Oh, sex, yeah, okay.
Politics, religion, and sex is what you're not supposed to talk to. And
it's just like, to me, it's just, I don't know, it's just, I kind of went off the rails a little bit, but that's okay.
Again, it comes down to, it's interesting that Google has these skeletons in their closets, and the fact
it's
that
not even a skeleton, really. It's kind of whatever.
Wow, okay. It's not this happy, joyous place.
Yeah.
That, this magical wonderland to go work at that people think it is.
It's like, great, Google has an ideology. Well, so does every other damn company in the world.
Just look at YouTube.
Like, yeah. YouTube has
Walmart
an ideology.
has an ideology.
Yeah.
Like,
every
they
company
buy
has
politicians, honestly.
Every company, every aspect of life has an idea. If you have a thought in your brain, that's an idea. And if you sit there and go, my idea is the only way to go, you're like Google. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect, and whatever, who cares? Really, to me, it's not even news.
Yeah.
It could be, like you said, when the legal aspect is done, if there's some legal wrongdoing here, then fine, then it's a story. But until that happens,
it's a
non-news story.
When it first broke, the guys, leaked the memo. I'm like, okay, let's read the memo, and reading the articles and people saying it's like, oh, this, and then you read the article and it's like, did you read the article? Because it's not the same thing I got. And then, and he gets fired, and then he outs himself as like, I'm the guy who got fired. And it's just like, okay. And it's like, I'm going to be looking into legal action. It's like, okay, if you were wrongly fired, which you may or may not have been.
Yeah.
But, this is just the way businesses work. If you think this is not the way businesses work, what kind of job do you have?
Yeah. Yeah, the media is taking it from a standpoint of, like, almost like Google is becoming a Hitler-esque like company, because they're like, if you have different thoughts than us, then you're not, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, not really. They're kind of going, hey, you kind of violated one of our policies. See you later.
Yeah, and as I said, once the legal action is hits the ball rolling, Who knows? Maybe Google will just buy him off. Which
Probably.
yeah,
That's probably
yeah.
what'll happen.
In
They'll
the
be like,
grand scheme of things,
we'll settle
that guy
outside of court.
probably just made himself a lot of money.
Yeah, and then it'll be like, okay, well, now I don't got to get another job. Sweet, thanks, Google. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let us know, guys, what you think. Is Google the bad guys? Do you
Google the good
guys? Who knows?
Yeah. We'll
comment
have to-
below and hit that subscribe button because we talk about this shit all the time. We've been talking about a lot of diversity lately.
Yes, we have.
'Cause it's
that's
been in the
what's
news.
Been in the news. Well, a lot of politicians are on holidays, so
Yeah. Politicians on holidays. Go figure, eh? See you later, guys.
See ya.